Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. I'm your host, Britt Madrid Mogensen. We are going to be talking about Jessica Simpson's birth chart because she is having a full-blown career revival. This is a real astrology in the wild moment that we can break down and see in real time. So if you are interested in learning more about astrology, and if you love Jessica Simpson, you're going to love this episode. Before we get to that, we have to talk about some major astrological transits that I am happy to report are continuing to improve the vibes. I know that 2025 really started with a bang, we'll just say that. Okay. It's been a lot. But things are finally getting better. So we had Jupiter move direct earlier this month. That's starting to get a little bit more abundance flowing. However, the real story is that we finally have Mars moving direct as well. And we also have a new moon in the dreamy, creative, emotional sign of Pisces on Thursday. And it's a very positive new moon. I think that we're going to have a lot of really great things start to happen. So let's all take a nice deep breath. I know in our live streams, we've been talking about how a lot of us are very stressed out, but with Mars direct as of February 23rd, that's going to get things picking up. That's going to get our energy, our motivation. Business is going to pick up again. Like things are going to start moving. We're going to feel like we have a direction and we're going to feel motivated to move forward. Then with this new moon, it's just like very, very positive, new, fresh energy, especially when it comes to creativity. Check your birth chart and see which of your houses is ruled by Pisces. This is going to tell you where you have a lot of concentrated energy. So if you want to make the most of this new moon and the period following the new moon, especially like 2 weeks after, we can take these actions that are going to have extra impact. Be sure that you are focusing at least part of your efforts on the Pisces part of your birth chart. For example, if Pisces rules your second house of income, you are going to want to write out your goals and your wishes for your income. And starting with that new moon and the 2 weeks that follow, you're going to want to start taking action with Mars direct. Thank you, Mars, to actually make that happen, to bring these manifestations to life. So the way that we manifest is we believe that it's possible. We write it down so we have a clear goal, and then we take the actions that align intuitively. And, we can ask ChatGPT as well, and then we make it happen. So that is what I have for you guys astrologically. It's super, super exciting. But if you also want to know about what we have coming up in March in particular, we have Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde. That's right. Things are going to get a little spicy again. Go over to patreon.com/inthecardsandstars and you can join and learn more. And we basically just have a good time over there. We spill the astro tea. We learn even more. We do deep dives. So check that out, you guys. Let's start with Jessica Simpson's birth chart, and then we'll pull a couple cards as we do. Use My Heart Against Me. Wow. Have you guys heard this song yet? I wish we could play it here. If it wasn't for copyright, we would have it going. I love it. And the first thing that I noticed about it is that it is in her register. What a big deal. Like, I feel like so much of her career was her trying to fit into these different molds. People telling her who she needed to be, whether it was starting off with the Mickey Mouse Club and going up against Britney Spears, who was like the performer, the dancer, or Christina Aguilera, who auditioned with her at the same time, who had this big, huge voice. Jessica never really felt like she fit in. And check out the deep dive documentary on YouTube if you guys haven't yet. I will put the link in the description because that was just so eye-opening. Watching that documentary, I just was like reliving all these moments from Jessica's career, and it made me even happier to see that now she's really coming into her own. And this is not just something that we can say, this is something we can see in her birth chart. Let's talk about this latest Yahoo Entertainment article that came out. So there's a quote from this article that says, perhaps she just needed the right inspiration. As her 10-year marriage to Johnson unraveled, which she called a painful situation, it has apparently been the nudge that she needed. What she's shown of Use My Heart Against Me sees a woman finding her voice again. So this is where we begin our journey through her birth chart, finding her voice again. Now, what I noticed when I look at Jessica Simpson's birth chart, and luckily we do have her birth time confirmed, so excited. She's a Scorpio rising, okay? And what do we know about Scorpios? We know that Scorpio is associated with the phoenix rising from the ashes. And to take something negative and transmute it, transform it into something positive, to go down into the underworld, as Scorpio is known to do, and come back up, redefined, swinging, and successful in your own right, that is such a Scorpio rising thing to do. So that is very exciting to see that she is embracing that. We are going to see this as a really big moment for her, I'm predicting. And if we just look at the release dates alone, is she into numerology? That's what I want to know. Okay. She announced her new single, Use My Heart Against Me, on February 12th, which in numerology, if you add the one and the two, that's a three energy of creativity. So already I was like, check, check. Interesting. This has good vibes already. March 21st, she will be dropping her highly anticipated album called Nashville Canyon. This is so huge because I feel like she must really be into numerology, which would make sense as a Scorpio rising. People with heavy Scorpio placements tend to be very intuitive, into the occult, into a little bit of divination. So I'd be interested if anybody has heard that she is into it. But this is a huge deal because the 21st is a day of creativity. So interesting that she dropped her single on February 21st. Interesting that she is dropping the album March 21st. This is just going to align with her. We're going to see that this is a very creative album. Other things to note that are interesting about this: the single dropped during Pisces season. Now, Pisces rules Jessica's fifth house of creativity. So, this is the kind of creativity that we actually do for ourselves. The fifth house is like your inner child, what makes you happy. And she has spoken about how this album is really her coming home to herself, creating the type of music that she's always wanted to create. And it sounds like her. I mean, like I was saying before, like it's in her register. She has kind of a lower, more sultry voice. And that's what this song sounded like. So I'm very excited to see what other songs are on this album. I just know they're going to be so good. She's no longer having to get input from her dad like she did when she was growing up, from the music labels, from all these people that told her that she was too skinny, too fat, that the song wasn't right, that I mean, it was so much, you guys. Like she started off as a gospel singer and she was told that she was like too attractive. Then she was told that she wasn't attractive enough because she didn't have a six pack. I mean, if you guys look, like watch that documentary, you will just be so frustrated, like I was, that she just went through it. But I think that this is her breakthrough moment. This is going to be when we finally see her living life on her own terms for herself. And I think that this is going to be a very successful album. Whereas in the past, we saw that her first songs were like pretty popular. I think she was just like very new on the scene. People were excited about her. Then as time went on, her music really never reached the heights of, a Britney Spears or a Christina Aguilera. Like I feel like she just never really made it on that level. Then she became really well known for her look. She became really well known for her dessert line of products. And she was just kind of a personality. Her reality show, like, yes, she had a successful career, no doubt. She's a billionaire because of her Jessica Simpson clothing line, right? But when it comes to music, she never really got the chance to share her creativity and her unique voice and inspiration from her heart, from her soul. I feel like this is the real Jessica as a musician, and I'm very excited. And it sounds right. It sounds like her. Okay. So let's talk about a couple of other like kind of crazy things that have gone on lately with Jessica. So if we look at her birth chart, we know that she has her sun, moon, and Mercury all in the sign of Cancer. Wow. Like lots of Cancer energy in her birth chart, which is also like sensitive, nurturing, but like a crab can kind of like close off when hurt, when harmed. Now, what's interesting, she announced her split from Eric Johnson on Monday, January 13th, which was the day of the full moon in Cancer. Like, you can't make this stuff up. This is astrology in the wild. Like, are you serious? I mean, what? And full moons are about revealing information. So she was finally ready to reveal this information. I think Cancer full moon with all of her like energy in Cancer. Oh my God. I mean, with a Cancer moon, this is someone who truly is an emotional well of just so much depth. And for this to be the time that she lets everybody know about the separation, I do feel like this is a divinely orchestrated thing. Like it's part of her journey to move forward now. I don't think they'll get back together. I think this is really like for the best, to be honest. Okay, then she announced that her album was going to be coming out at the full moon in Leo on February 12th. So, astrology in the wild moment there yet again, because I mean, you guys, you can't make this stuff up. If you look at her birth chart, she has her North Node in Leo. I'm telling you, you guys, this is the album. This is the album that she has been waiting to put out, that she's been wanting to put out. It's like this is the moment that it all comes together. I'm just like, isn't that exciting, you guys? Like, can you believe that? Oh my God. Like it's just too aligned. It's kind of crazy. Let's look at some other things going on in her birth chart that can explain some of the experiences that she's had because she has had a very interesting life and career, whether we're looking at the songs that she's put out or the different products that she's created. I mean, she's just been someone who's had their hand in so many different areas of the industry, but she's also been through a lot. So, if we check out her birth chart, we see that her first house is Scorpio, like I said. So, this also explains her sharper features. Fun fact, Scorpios do tend to have like sharper features, a distinct bone structure. I think that that really is true for her. Also, we have Uranus in the first house for her. And Uranus is all about surprise and change. People with Uranus in the first house can reinvent themselves several times in one lifetime. And they are typically not dressing the same or looking the same from one day to the next. So I think that is so interesting. Also, her second house is ruled by Sagittarius and contains Neptune. That is very expansive. Sagittarius is associated with Jupiter, which is big and bold and like abundant. So she has an abundant money house. Makes sense. She's a billionaire. Okay. And we also have her third house ruled by Capricorn. This hardworking relationship when it comes to her siblings, which is sort of interesting because Ashley was also in the music industry. The third house rules your communication style, but also like your siblings. What I see about Jessica is that she does communicate a lot when she has a project to put out. And I think that that's something that's been pretty consistent with her. Everything that we've seen her do has been really about her business. It's also communication. So that makes a lot of sense there. Ever since Pluto entered into Aquarius, which Pluto shakes up whatever it touches in order to tear things down and rebuild them. For Jessica, November 19th, when Pluto entered into Aquarius for the long haul, so for the next 20 years, Pluto will be deconstructing and reconstructing our Aquarius ruled house in our birth charts. For Jessica, that was her fourth house of home and family. Makes so much sense, right? We've seen that her relationship, her family life, whatever that family structure is going to be looking like in the future is different from how it was looking before because she is, recalibrating, changing homes. Like she might end up moving out or doing different things. Eric Johnson's not going to be living in the home. So definitely that makes sense. That's an astrology in the wild moment. Her sixth house is ruled by Aries. From the promo, I was a little bit worried. Like it was the behind the scenes like promo for Use My Heart Against Me. And I felt like she was still seeming to, I don't know, like slur her speech a little bit. Hopefully it was just because she was tired or something. But whether it's because she was tired or there was some sort of relaxation substance or whatever she's doing, with Venus going retrograde in Aries, this is her sixth house of health and work routines from March 2nd. And then it will move into Pisces to continue that retrograde on March 27th through April 12th. So for Jessica, from March 2nd through March 27th, she has an opportunity to go back over her work routines, her health and wellness, any addiction, substances, or even if it's just like needing to sleep more, if that's why she was sort of sounding off because she's not getting sleep, whatever it is for her during that period of time, that window of time, she's going to have a lot of extra help from Venus to redo those routines and hopefully have a glow up in that part of her life, her routines, her wellness, take a little bit better care of herself. I think that's super important for her to have this sustainable success. So I really hope that she does that. Then when Venus continues its retrograde into Pisces, March 27th, her entire album will have already come out on the 21st. So by this time, this is going to be rethinking and redoing certain things that have to do with her creativity. So I don't know if this is hatching a new plan of sorts. Maybe she's going to be redoing something that she did in the past, like touring. Maybe she'll be putting together that. But this is typically a time where we revisit something that was once very prominent in our lives. And for Jessica, I think that music was once very important and very prominent for her. So she will be redoing things in that fifth house of creativity. And it's all having to do with her music career and this fresh start. This is going to encourage a lot of like introspection and making sure that everything that she does is really in alignment with her values this time around. So different themes will come up for her. I'm sure feelings of familiarity with like what she used to do and how she wants to redefine herself now. But it's going to be a very transformative, important time in her life because this is all focused on more of that Pisces fifth house energy of creativity which is associated with Leo, where we know she has her North Node. Okay, so this is like the most important time. Oh my God. Like, if we just look at all the things going on in her birth chart, it is no surprise to me that she's putting out music after 15 years of not having any new music, that she's been releasing. It makes sense. It's just astrology in the wild. There's so much activated. She also has her midheaven in Leo. So we see her as a Leo. I always feel like we see her with this like big hair, or she's always doing something with her hair that's interesting or different. And that's very Leo energy. Her hair is a part of her identity, whether she's like dyeing it dark or has it like short. Oh my God, like it was so cute. Remember during that like dessert era? I wanted my hair to look exactly like hers. I cut it like that. It did not look exactly like hers, but I tried, okay? I tried in high school. She was like my idol. Oh my God, so funny. And I still love her to this day, obviously. Okay, other things going on for her that are just interesting about her chart. Her 11th house is ruled by Virgo. This is very similar to the astro assessment I've done of Taylor Swift because I also suspect that Taylor Swift has her rising sign, in the sign of Scorpio. Now, if y'all remember from that episode, I talked about how Taylor is having a decrease or some sort of reevaluation or redoing something in the 11th house of friends. And it ended up being Blake Lively and that whole friendship, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Now, with Jessica Simpson, she also has this same 11th house Virgo that is being lit up and reevaluated by the South Node transiting Virgo right now and for the next like 18 months. So for Jessica, what's interesting here though is that she has Mars and Pluto in her natal Virgo 11th house. So I am really curious to see how this is going to play out for her. The 11th house is groups, friendships. It can also be fame and like the way that we connect with like our audience and the way that people see us. It's like the groups we're a part of. I just wonder what's going to be happening for her. She may be reevaluating the way that she expresses herself with Mars and Pluto here. Again, Pluto is that transformation. So I'm wondering if she's going to just be changing a lot about how she expresses her anger with people that are close to her. Again, with all of that Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Mercury, she's not someone that I think outwardly expresses her anger. I think that it's a lot of her emotion is like behind the scenes. So I wonder if she's going to get more honest with people. Maybe we're going to see a different side of her as the public because 11th is like fame, wishes, and like, out in public. It's a very public house. It's about the group, how others see you kind of thing. So I wonder if like her fans are going to see the Pluto energy and the Mars energy, maybe more of her anger, like more of the anger that she's experienced, and the Pluto energy of how she's transformed, like darker themes, basically. I feel like we're going to finally see music from her that explores darker themes. Like we're going to get to know her better as her audience. And I wonder if she's also going to be gravitating towards friendships in her personal life where she feels like she can be truly, authentically herself. Whereas in the past, maybe she didn't always feel that way because friendships, if you're a famous person, your friendships tend to also reflect the way that you express yourself with your fans in many ways. So I'm just wondering if we're going to be seeing a darker but like deeper side of Jessica is what I mean. Because we all have like dark moments in life, right? I don't mean that she's a dark person. I mean like she's sharing the depths, but in the form of song because the 11th house is also our wishes. Okay, interesting. Just interesting stuff. Okay, if we also look at her 10th house, which is your career, it's ruled by Leo. So like she was always meant to be in the limelight, always meant to be famous. Like it was always going to happen. But she also has her Jupiter there. So expansion, like a lot of fame. That's why she's like a household name, but the North Node and Saturn. So the North Node talks about her destiny and how this is her destiny to like come into her own in the public eye, to be famous, to influence everyone by being on the world stage, for us to like learn lessons and live through her lessons in a way. I think she's reflected back to us a lot of what we've all experienced collectively, like being too hard on ourselves, society being too hard on us, body image stuff. Like I see that. So I feel like that was part of what she reflected back to us, but also just her unique shine and the joy that she has, like sharing that. That's what Leos do as well. They share joy and they make everyone feel uplifted and happy. And I feel like she's done that. She's added a lot of like just good energy into the space, into the public sphere. What's really interesting for me though is Saturn. And given the timing of this revival of Jessica Simpson that's truly coming from her truth, like what she loves and cares about in life, Saturn to me is hard work. And wherever we have Saturn in our birth charts, this is where we will experience success later in life. Now, for Jessica, she's been famous her whole life, pretty much. I mean, she was 15 when she recorded her first gospel album. She wasn't really famous then, but it was already starting. Like she's always been doing this ever since she was like a very young, like, preteen teen. But when it comes to the North Node being our purpose and our destiny, that tells me that she's coming into her destiny and her North Node later in life. So while she's been in the public eye quite a bit, I don't think that we've seen all that there is to see. And I think that the best is yet to come. So I think that this part of her music career, I'm making the prediction now, is going to be the best part of her musical career. I really think that this is going to be like the musical chapter for her. We haven't seen anything yet. Saturn is a late bloomer energy. So I am seated. I am ready. She has her seventh house ruled by Taurus. Taurus is the bull. Taurus is grounded, stable, earthy energy. So on paper, that looks really good, right? Because your seventh house is like your partners, your relationship, people that you date, that you get into serious relationships with. Once you get married and you sign the contract, to me, that goes into eighth house energy. But for the people that she's dated and things like that, like this is talking about like being very attractive as well to the opposite sex because Venus rules Taurus. She's never had a hard time getting boyfriends, getting people to commit to her, and we know that to be true. However, something that is a little bit more of a deep dive is that she also has Chiron in the seventh house, and that's our greatest wound. So the people that she has partnered with in her life and the people that she has trusted, whether that be a business partner, a best friend, or a romantic partner, those are the people that have hurt her the most. And the people that come to mind, I mean, right off the bat, it's like John Mayer. I mean, that was really bad. Her dad, who was her business manager, that was really tough. And like he put so much pressure on her. It's a wonder. Honestly, it's a wonder that she made it through. I mean, that was just it was crazy. You gotta look into it. So yeah, she's taking her life back. She's taking back her definition of joy and success and beauty and what it means to be happy. And I couldn't be more thrilled to see it, to be able to fully step into her truest self. I love it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what comes next. So let's pull a couple cards to see what we can get. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, let's get past, present, future for Jessica Simpson's career. Past, present, future. So in the past, we have Eight of Pentacles working hard. Yes, she's been working hard, you guys. She has been hustling, never stops working. Yeah, she's been working since she was a little kid, whether she was trying to audition for the Mickey Mouse Club or pulling together designs for her Jessica Simpson clothing line that made her a billionaire. Like she has been a hard worker from day one. Okay. That was the past. What about the present? The Queen of Wands. Stop it, you guys. This is fire sign energy. As you guys know, the Queen of Wands is creativity, joy, literally creating from your joy. The Queen of Wands is my favorite card besides the Empress. And that's what she's doing. There's a sunflower on this card. The sunflower corresponds to the solar plexus chakra of your sense of self, your purpose, the will, things that come from you and you alone that are meant to be your purest expression of your joy. Also, the Queen of Wands is associated with Leo energy and the sun energy, shining bright with that sunflower. And we know that her North Node is in Leo as well as the midheaven. So, yeah, right now she is coming into a moment where she will be shining like the sun, feeling creative, feeling inspired, feeling excited about life again, like the Queen of Wands that she truly is meant to be. I love it. Okay, what about the future? So, she's feeling really good right now. We'd love to see it. King of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Let me get a clarifier here. Oh my gosh. Who is this King of Pentacles? The Strength card, also a Leo card. One more. The Page of Swords. Interesting. Okay. This to me got a little personal. But I will say, with a lot of creative people, especially Scorpio risings, because they draw so much of their inspiration from what they go through in life. It makes sense that a little bit of personal may creep into there as we're talking about her creative journey. But the King of Pentacles, this is a man that has money, the Strength card, someone who's strong. And then the Page of Swords, this is someone who's very immature with their communication. Let's get one more clarifier on like what is this? What is this story about? Who is this? What is this? Seven of Wands competition. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So what's interesting is that even though she's starting a new cycle and coming from a place of her joy, there will always be people in the music industry that want to get a piece of it, that want to have their say. There will always be kings of pentacles around wanting to get a little piece of the pie. So this talks about her having to tap into her inner strength, the strength card, to this may be happening also during that retrograde energy in March. But having to remember that whatever she does from a place of strength is like going to be good for her to stay in her own strength, not to fall into any of this Page of Swords stuff. There will always be people around who are going to want to take from her, who are going to want to say some stuff, who are going to want to get a little piece of the pie, even if they're like tearing her down or trying to get involved in her work or a little bit of sabotage here and there. So there are these people around. They're always going to be lurking around. Seven of Wands, competition, people wanting to compete. But getting the strength card here, I just feel like it's not going to phase her. Like, it's just not. She's the Queen of Wands. Like, let's get her reaction to all of this energy. And the King of Pentacles. I don't know who that is. That's someone who's a music executive wanting to invest in her. Let's just see. Three of Pentacles. Yes. Okay. Continuing to collaborate and work with other women. I think that we're going to see her collaborate with other women. I'm hoping that the other women are Dolly Parton and Ashley Simpson. Just saying, just manifesting that. I keep putting it out there. Maybe it'll happen. Um, but yeah. And also the three energy. This could be a sibling, literally. Hold on. And her third house is ruled by Capricorn, the house of siblings. Guys, I swear. If she does, like we called it here, this is not falling into any old traps, basically. Staying away from any old traps and collaborating and working with people that truly make her happy. That is the secret to success, to staying in this place of Queen of Wands joy. And I think that she knows that. I really, really do. So basically, this just speaks to some of the old challenges. Again, retrograde energy. I think when you revisit cycles in your life, sometimes things will come up just to show you how far you've come. So that's what this feels like to me. It's like she's going to be reminded of how strong she is, strength card, and how far she's come. And I think it will fuel her on to continue to collaborate and work with the people that she truly feels are aligned with her. She's not going to fall into old traps. Like, been there, done that. Okay, I love it. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys, before we go, I do want to pull a quick astrocartography chart for her because the album is called Nashville Canyon. And she was saying that like Nashville is where it's like a full circle moment. Basically, Nashville is where she feels like she has always been able to be really creative. She recorded her first gospel album there at the age of 15. And to me, this feels like a full circle moment of like coming back home to yourself. So, just for the astrology and the wild of it all, I want to see what Nashville, like what line Nashville is on for Jessica Simpson. Oh my God, you guys. Astrology in the wild moment. I'm dying. Okay, listen to this. You guys, I have to put the photo up. I'm screaming. Okay. For Jessica Simpson, Nashville is directly on her Jupiter MC line. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my. Okay, here's what AstroClick Travel has to say. Along this line are the most effective places for climbing the social ladder. Guys, this album's going to be a hit, I'm telling you. You'll receive recognition for achievements and are basically convinced about the course of your existing goals. Fame and honor strengthen your sense of self-worth, and ambitious projects follow a smooth path to becoming reality. You guys, do not sleep on your astrocartography, okay? Do not. In these regions, it is advisable to make every effort to succeed, as there's no better place where your involvement is met with such good returns. That's why she's recording this album there after 15 years. Like, this also shows in the extensive dissemination of your thoughts and ideas. The best conditions exist here for an effective presentation of your products and creations. The first song was a banger. In the search for security as well as financial protection, these regions prove time and time again to be helpful and effective. You will meet influential and loyal people who are willing and able to assist you. You appear to be lucky in your dealings with authorities, legal courts, and state institutions, as well as international business. Staying at MC places also serves to both discover new goals and conclude existing ones. Attractive offers and prospects of lucrative returns make the transition into hitherto unknown fields easier. Your decision to explore new terrain is assisted by your level of optimism and a spirit of adventure. She should live in Nashville, guys. I hope she does after this divorce. Like, oh, there you go. All right, that's my assessment. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you guys over on Patreon if you are patrons. We got a lot to discuss over there.